What's up there, social media family? It's Chris, your favorite coach, your favorite host, everything favorite. If you don't have a favorite, why not let it be me? So, welcome to another episode of Conversations with Chris, where I like to talk to interesting people or people that I find interesting and have a story to share with the rest of the world. And today, we're here with none other than the pit bull of real estate from Billings, Montana, Billie Parrot, Billie in town. Yay!
Yeah, woo
What's going on?
woo in the
Yeah.
house.
That's right in the house. Look, and look, I say you're in real estate, but there's so much more to you. There's so much more going on. So, tell us what we need to know. I mean, that's a long. You have quite the story. Just looking at the short bio that you have.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how much time do we got?
This is my last thing. This is my last thing. My last thing for the day. So
Okay.
make it happen. Tell us what we need to know. Tell us about your story. I mean, look, it's so and man, there's a lot going on. What we're just talking about too, about them outlawing TikTok in Montana and all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
And you got you're certainly active on social media yourself. You've got a you got your coffee talk show going on. So how this whole evolution happened? What happened in your life that led up to the Billy in town that we know?
Well, Billy and B Town. So I came up with that name because Billings is their nickname is also B Town.
Okay.
Billings is B Town, and I thought, oh, maybe I should just do like a series where I am just doing things in Billings. So I came up with Billy in B Town because it would cover real estate, it would cover personal stuff, pretty much anything, right, happening with Billings. So it just kind of went off like that. My daughter at the time was like 11. She drew up this cool little logo for me, and it has like evolved ever since. And people will say, "Hey, B Town," they'll call me B
Yeah.
Town. If they see like a business called like B Town, they're like, "Hey, it's B Town." So people are putting my name to B Town, which is good, which is
That
really good.
is,
So
and your name starts with B, and it's B Town. I mean, it's fantastic.
yeah, I love it.
Yeah, it's all good branding all around. So I mean, how long have you been in real estate? And tell us about your real estate business.
Yeah, so 13 years in real estate, and it was a struggle to start. I'll be honest with you. I was in advertising sales for 7 years prior to that, and a friend of ours had bought their first house with a realtor, and she actually, I called her up and said, "Hey, I think I'm ready to buy my first house." And so she's like, "Great." And then as we're getting to know each other, she goes, "Hey, have you ever thought about getting into real estate?" I'm like, "No." Like it wasn't even on my radar. I liked my job. I was getting paid pretty good. And, she continuously asked me. And finally, things had happened at my old job. I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll try it. And of course, I jumped in at the worst possible time in 2009 when the whole crash was happening. And everybody was like, "Are you crazy?" And I was like, "I guess I kind of am." And I took money out of my 401 to survive for the first 6 months. And it took me a while to get my first sale. And the first 2 years were a struggle. I actually went back to my old job for a bit. And I was like, you know what? This just is not for me. I don't like having a boss. I like working for myself. And so I went back into real estate, and here I am.
I, so you said it. And sometimes people skip over that. You said, "Hey, it wasn't easy in the beginning. It was a little difficult," and it's. I mean, because I've been in the industry for so long, and sometimes now as a coach and speaker, people are like, "Oh man, it's so easy for you," and it wasn't. And a lot of times people don't talk about that story of hardship. So tell us how it was in the beginning, that struggle that you had, and like the tenacity that you had to get through, and ultimately, what were the ingredients that helped you get to the point of being successful?
Yeah. So once I finally got in my head, like, I'm going to make this work, I actually took a part time job. And it was very hard to finally admit this. And I kept it a secret. I took a part time job as a janitor just to make ends meet while I was trying to get sales. And so, one story that sticks out in my head, because one of my jobs is I had to mop this really long hallway in this mall area, and I took the trash out, and I had a hat on, thankfully. I seen a top producer here in town walking to have lunch with a client, and I was like, "Oh my God, oh my God." And I was like trying to hide myself. I didn't want to be seen. And I was like, this can't happen anymore. This could not happen. So I I just quit that job and I said, I just have to make this work. And I just didn't look back since. I just worked really hard. I made phone calls. I just didn't stop. I just kept going and would just work all day, all night. And then probably about 3 years ago, things finally started to flow for me. So all my business is referral based right now. I'm getting things from agents from all around the country who know that I do a good job for their clients. So yeah, it's been working out great now, but it was a struggle.
Yeah. Uh, that I got to say, this is probably the first time I heard that I took a position as a janitor, and I was going to bump into a top agent for my because I mean I hear the stories all the time. I was a server, a bartender, an Uber driver. So I mean, I was DJing on the weekends when I got through my sales business. Kind of. I was the rookie of the year in my office. Second year, I didn't do too much better, and it was like the third year was. It seems like the same story for you. I was like, I got to learn how to take listings because running around with buyers, man,
Yeah.
I'm gonna burn out quickly. And you said you have primarily a referral based business. Is that person to person referrals, sphere of influence, past clients, or is that referrals like agent to agent referrals, like where other agents around the country are sending you business?
Yeah, actually, all of the above. I would say the majority, what I'm seeing right now is a lot of agent to agent referrals this year. So I actually went to Wyoming, which is a border state, and went to their state conference. And I just want to meet people and network and have somebody that I could refer someone if they're moving to Wyoming. And they were like, well, why are you here? Are you licensed? And I said, no, I just want to network with you guys. And since then, I've gotten 6 referrals just from Wyoming here in the last year. So it's all about relationships.
Mm. It's funny that you say that because I remember I was always learning based. I loved to training and everything, and I remember I was in an office in Queens, and I was going to a training in New Jersey, and one of the agents in there teased me for always taking training. And while I was at that training in New Jersey, I sat next to an agent that ended up sending me a sponsor. I did 17 transactions from one sponsor based on an agent referral. He only took a referral fee on the first 4, and he was like, "Good, Chris, I'm good. Stop sending me money." So it's just because that's an opportunity that not a lot of agents see. So just for the fact of, and I always used to laugh because we used to go to like the company conventions around the country, and one of my agents when I ran my office, Marco Gomez, he would never sit with us, have dinner with us. He'd be like, "Hey, listen, I'm in Texas. We're having dinner with referral groups." And it's funny because every time I would go into like an agent referral group and they said, "Hey, I need a great agent for Queens, New York," everyone would mention Marco Gomez, Marco Gomez. And I was like, "Yeah, Marco Gomez." And I'm like, "That's what he's doing." So it seems like you've got that same mindset, just kind of getting out there, meeting people. So you also said that you made phone calls. So you're you had to do something to get to a referral based business. So what was like the grit, the blood, sweat, and tears that you did to get to the point where you're getting a referral based business? What'd you do to what kind of hustle did you have to get to that point? Was it phone calls? Was it cold calling, lead generating of some kind?
Yeah, so I hate cold calls. I hate door knocking, but actually, what I did is I had a really big client list from my old job in advertising, and so what I did is I just constantly kept in touch with those guys. A lot of my clients were car dealers, used car dealers, and like heavy construction equipment people, and so I would just constantly send them things like, "Hey," like to remind them I'm in real estate, and it just kind of started from there like a domino effect. One would refer me to somebody or they would buy a house with me. And then just continuously staying in touch with your clients is huge. Just sending them something, every month. If it's their birthday, say happy birthday. If it's their home anniversary, send them the anniversary card. It's just constantly keeping in touch so they're reminded that you're there if they need you.
Yeah, so you hate cold calling. We call that kind of warm touching, right? So you're just that's awesome, and it's so you. Um, Now you're pretty active on social media, and has that been a big component of you kind of warm touching and building a brand and keeping in touch with the people in your world?
Yeah, and I always tell people the power of social media because there's so many agents that are like, I hate social media, I don't use it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you are just leaving so much money on the table. And it's funny because a lot of times I don't even know certain people are watching what I'm doing, but I'll run into them maybe at a bar or a restaurant, and they're like, oh my gosh, I love this, I love that you were doing this, or I love this video, and I was like, what? I didn't even see that you liked it. So just know that even if you're not getting the likes or the engagement, people are watching and noting what you're doing, and just keeping top of mind. Like, she's a realtor. I know that she's a realtor and
Yeah.
she's Washington Billings or whatever. So just keep putting stuff out there and just be you, you know?
Yeah.
I used to
Yeah.
be like afraid to be me, and I'm like, you know what? This is me. Deal with it.
Yeah, and that was same story for me. I look at that happened about third year in the business too. I was trying to emulate all the other top producers that I was surrounded by, and I had a manager, and she said, "Hey, you're not that guy. You know, you're lighthearted, you're silly, you're charming. Just stop trying to be this." And the second I let that go, and this is pre-social media. I mean, we were still clipping Fizbos out of the newspaper. I mean, just to give you an idea, you haven't been in the business that long, but that's what it used to be, man, before all this technology and stuff like that. But that's
Yeah.
amazing. And we have a saying, we say, "Be you, everyone else is taken." Isn't it true?
Yeah.
And one of the
Totally.
keynotes that I do is the art of authenticity, which is, man, in an AI driven world right now, uh, I think your authentic self is going to really have to do some work to cut through. So
Oh, for
let's
sure.
it's how do
For
we
sure.
make that happen? But tell us about tell us about your involvement in the art. You're an art advocate.
Yeah, so I love musicals. I'm a huge musical nerd, and I have been dancing since I could walk. Like, since I could remember, I would always put on shows for my mom and dad. I would force them to watch me, and I would put on this production in my bedroom and all the time. And I actually was part of a professional dance company here in Billings and have done quite a bit of musical shows and acting here. And I'm actually starting to choreograph now shows. So
Awesome.
yeah, it's fun. I love it.
That's amazing. So uh, and then musical. So here's a question. A question came in earlier. What celebrity do you sound like?
I know who asked that question. Get out of here.
I'm just like I just read them. I just
Yep,
read them as
I
they come
know
in.
exactly who that is. Gilbert Godfrey. I was once, yeah, yep. I was once told that I sound like Gilbert Godfrey, and that has stuck with me. And every time I listen to myself, I'm like, okay, I kind of hear it, but it's
Who?
me, it's my voice.
Oh man, I love Gilbert Godfrey. Yep. So
I know.
how I don't get that connection. Gilbert Godfrey. I mean,
Thank you. See,
well, it's better than
thank
sound
you.
like. I guess it's better than sounding like Steve Urkel.
That's true. Yes.
Yeah. So it's we're headed to Billings. A group I speak with, the Social Ninjas. Thanks for bringing us there, and you're going to be part of that.
Yeah.
We're heading to Billings. I've never been to Montana at all. I'm looking forward to it. We're going in October. By the way, if you're going to be in the Billings area, ticket sales are open for that. I'll post the link over here in the comments.
Yep.
But tell us about real estate in Billings. I mean, in Montana overall, because it's such a foreign thing for me. And I know you guys got a small board. Everyone's very tight. It seems like you've got a handful of talented people. How's the market over there? What's it like to operate a real estate business over there?
Our market is thriving. We're kind of that weird, we're just a weird city that's always sheltered. Like, even when COVID hit, we didn't get hit that hard like everybody else did. Like, it was business as usual. And I was freaking out when the whole COVID thing hit. I'm like, oh my God, am I gonna have to go get another job? Freaking out. But it was one of my best years that I've had. And I was like, what the heck? We're in a pandemic. Like, what is happening? But no, it has not slowed down. Our average sales price right now is 420. Our average days on the market have
Hold on.
increased.
Your
Go
average
ahead.
sale price is what?
420.
Is is marijuana legal there?
Yes.
Yes, and the average sale price is 420. Uh,
Yes. Good connection there.
Billy in B Town, you are missing a big opportunity. If you know, I'm going to change my whole talk when I'm in B Town. I'm going to change my whole talk in Montana about the average sale price being 420. So that's great, but I think that's still a high average sale price considering the rest of the country. I mean, where I'm in Florida and where I'm from New York, average sale price is high, but 420 that's pretty high nationwide. So it must be a great place to live.
Yeah, our city has flourished here in the last few years. People are relocating here, especially with COVID. We had tons of people from California coming up. And
Everybody's getting out of California, man.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of my clients the last 2 years have been from California.
Particularly
So
weed is legal there, so that's an easy migration.
yeah, exactly.
It's what's keeping them there. That's cool. So that so are a lot of your clients? So I mean, a lot of relocation. A lot of your buyers? I guess are coming in from out of state.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I would say about half of my clients last year, and actually looking at this year, about the same,
Hmm.
relocating here from other states, mainly
Wow.
California and Texas. Yeah.
California and Texas. Why would you leave? I mean, Texas is a fun
I
place. Have you ever
don't
been?
Yeah,
I
I
do love
don't know why
Texas.
Yeah, I can't figure out Texas, but yeah, when we got
Tex-
refineries here, so we're getting a
oh,
lot of
okay.
refiners to
I know
go in the refinery.
Brendan Burchard lives in Montana.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
He's an author. He's an author, coach, speaker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. He's he. What did he? The Motivation Manifesto, and he wrote a bunch of books. He's like the highest public paid speaker in the world. But I know he's in Montana, and I always thought it was a weird place for him to live. But it sounds really cool. I mean, I know Brendan Burchard and Prince like lived in Montana, right?
Prince lives in Montana?
He used to before he died, right? The artist formerly known as Prince is just a symbol now. He's from Montana.
No. No, he's not. Minnesota.
Oh, Minnesota. Is it Minnesota?
Yeah, if he lived in Montana, oh man. Yeah, no, I think Minnesota. Unless he lived here for some time. I don't know. But I know Minnesota is a town.
Poor Prince wouldn't fare well in Montana, huh? Montana is it
No.
Minnesota? Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was
Yeah,
Montana. Well,
it's
one of those M's, one of those M states up north. So
yeah.
oh, you think that's funny? I'm not, keeping it real. So that's your buyers are moving in from out of state. But let me ask you, what about your sellers? Are your sellers kind of staying local, or do you find there's a migration outside of Montana as well?
Yeah, we've got a lot of relocation. I would say about half of my sellers have moved out of
Okay.
town, out of the state. Yep, for
Are there
jobs.
any? Are there any? It's usually corporate. It's usually like for work opportunities.
Correct. Yep.
And are you find? Hi, Billie.
Hi, Erin.
She said hi, Aaron. Yes. So, um, is there any particular? Or does it seem? Is it so? If it's for corporate, it's probably all around the country. Is there any standout
Yeah.
places where people are migrating from Montana to cities that stand out? States?
Not really. Probably mainly Texas and California. It's like a going back and forth thing, which is
Ah,
super
yeah,
weird. But
yeah.
again, it comes down to like refineries and oil and all of that. So
Oil. Okay. Do you guys have state income taxes in Montana?
yes, we have property taxes. We don't have sales tax though.
You don't have sales tax, but you have state income tax.
Yes.
State and federal income tax. When I was in New York, I had state, city, and federal income tax. In Florida, it's just federal income tax. Everyone
Oh,
complains. I'm like,
really?
yeah, isn't it? It's fun. Yeah, and Texas too is no income taxes. New Hampshire, there's a few states out there, but what is it? So you got the oil refineries and everything. What are the other popular industries in Montana?
Medical, and then of course agricultural, because we've got farmland all around, cows. Yeah, I would say those are probably the biggest.
Yeah, so a lot of agriculture.
Mhm. Oh yeah, yeah. You're gonna see when you guys come here. You're gonna see a lot of cows, a lot of horses.
I can't wait again. And we're going to be in Montana in October. I put the link there in the comments. You can click on it, socialninjamedia.com. Billy's going to be part of the one in Montana, and we travel all around. So maybe we'll come to a city near you. So we're excited to bring that event. What are you guys looking forward to most about this event coming to Montana? And I know you have a big part in that. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, of course, our mutual friend J Man was telling me about your guys' social media ninja group, and I was like, oh my gosh, that would be perfect to bring to Montana, because that's what we try to do as YPN. We try to bring like out of the box, more exciting things that you're not going to find every day. And so I was like, done. And I brought it to our state, and they said yes, like it wasn't even a question. And so I'm super excited. We're still working on our social media panel. So if you're a Montanan and you're watching this and you're really great at social media, connect with me and we'll get you on the panel. But
well,
yeah, we're all
we have this fun interview now that's going to be all over the place. We could share it to the groups. That's why I like doing these things too. It's like a lot of people don't watch them live, but then we can kind of take little moments out from them and put them out there. So that's one of the things we're going to be talking about at the event. It's like how because people I tell you that content question comes up so much. Oh, how do you come up with so much content? I'm like, man, I don't know how to trim down the content because there's
Yeah,
so much stuff. If you put on a camera and let it roll, I mean, think about how much stuff we have in this conversation so far. We're on for 20 minutes. It's,
right. A
I
lot
mean,
of
you
good
got
sound bites.
50 p 50 pieces of content at least, right? So
Right.
uh, yeah, we're going to talk about some of the tools and the technology to help you to make that easier for you, even if you want people help, utilizing VAs, using social. I always say, man, I'm not a social media guy. It's funny because people are like, feel like, how are you, with this, how are you with the social media group? And I'm like, because um, uh, I know how to get yourself out there, right? So that's the thing,
Mhm.
and that's what we're talking about. So,
And you guys
I,
are gonna love it because a lot of people here, they're very scared to let themselves go
mhm,
and just go. You know what I mean? And they're just very tightly knit. Like, I don't want to be seen on the camera. I don't,
yeah,
this and that. So I think that you guys are gonna have fun.
I'm gonna see if I can convince John to go. My video guy, because we're gonna start to do actually, starting with yours. This is just something new we're doing. Is we're gonna start doing a live podcast from the events. So, which is gonna be so for all the attendees, everyone will get to sit down. They get to talk to us like we're doing right now, but we'll be sitting next to each other live.
Mhm.
So everybody will get a little piece of content. They'll see what it's like, and actually, that's what I'm gonna be talking about is interviewing. How can you? And you've got that. You've got a show as well. Your coffee talks. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so every Friday, well, I mostly every Friday. Sometimes I skip, but I do a coffee chat live. I typically try to interview a business owner or just somebody that's doing cool things in the city. Sometimes I might not have somebody to interview, so I'll just come on and chat about whatever. In fact, this is kind of a funny story. I had a day where I'm like, I have nothing to talk about, and I was really dealing with SAD, which is seasonal. What's the second word? Something disorder. So it's the seasonal disorder. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to talk about that. And so I just looked up some stuff like how to kind of like get yourself through it, and it went crazy. Like people were commenting and messaging me on the back channel like, thank you for talking about this. Nobody talks about it. That I'm dealing with it too. And I actually got a lead off of YouTube. This agent was watching it and said, you got to call this lady, she would be great, off a sad video. So you just gotta you gotta connect with people because everybody's dealing with something at some point. And I love it. I love doing coffee chats. My first
Yeah.
live video was the worst video because I didn't know how to, it was like sideways. So I was live sideways the entire time. I'm out there in the middle, it was
Oh
winter
boy.
time. I'm in this vacant lot talking about this new subdivision. But I tell you what, and I tell people this all the time, it doesn't have to be perfect because I had agents texting me, messaging me, clients saying, where is this property? I want to know more about it. And I wasn't even the list agent. Like, so it doesn't matter if it's sideways or whatever, as long as people can hear you and see you.
I always say even it doesn't matter if it's sideways as long as people can hear you. Man, that audio is so important. I'm glad you said that because how many videos out there like, oh, your video looks great, but your audio stinks. I think
Yeah,
it's better if your audio is good and your video stinks, right? But
totally.
if people are like, what if nobody watches my thing? What if nobody like, listen, stop living in the weather. Just put it out there. Who cares? You don't care about. So I remember when my daughter, she was trying to do a YouTube channel and she put videos out there, and then somebody gave her like a thumbs down and a negative comment, but she had like 20 something likes or whatever. And I said, look at Taylor Swift. She loved Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift, how many likes does she have? 8 million. How many not likes does she have? 500,000. That's a lot of dislikes. But guess what? Taylor Swift is not making her music and not doing her stuff for those people that give her the thumbs
Exactly.
down. So
Yeah.
that's it. Let's just keep doing that. And, and that's why I love J Man. He's just like, he's just him through and through. And people are always like, aren't you concerned? And he's like, no, I don't care. And that's why I love he's always like, hey man, I don't like the way I look on camera. Well, that's the way you look. Get
Yeah.
over it. That's the way you,
This is who I
that's
am.
that's how you look. That's how you sound. Shut up. And that's why, we do really high end professional videos with Sky Limitless. I'll send it over to you. And it's we're able to get the best out of you. But look, the reality is not everybody's got the money to pay a professional video crew to go around and follow them around and edit for them all the time. So you've got to figure this thing out if you want to do it. Look, or you don't have to do it. Go back, listen. get yourself some Red X, get a 3-line dialer, make some calls, get hung up on. Listen, there's a lot of different ways you can do business, and but
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the way that you chosen is pretty good.
Well, and
I put your Instagram link here. Is that it? Instagram/Billie and B
yep,
Town,
that's me.
right? So go follow Billie. It's a clickable link there. You can follow Billie and like see what you're all about. And are you? So what's your main? I've heard that people that are really heavy with social media, it's kind of like they really focus on two. There's two that are really their biggest, and then the other ones are just kind of ancillary. So is that the same for you?
Like as far as the social media
The
outlet.
the platforms
Yeah.
that you use at a high level.
I love Instagram. Like Instagram's my favorite. But Facebook's probably my second. YouTube, I really want to be good at YouTube and I'm trying, but it is hard. It is a lot of work and it's very hard, but I do try to put some shorts on there just so I'm out there. But that's one thing that I need to work on is my YouTube presence.
You know who's awesome? Did you know Christina Smallhorn?
No,
She's we interviewed her once. I mean, she's got 100,000 subscribers. She's really good. She did the mobile home stuff in Texas. She followed a plan for YouTube, and she really learned how to crush it. It's that's something to check out, Christina. I'll connect you. But
awesome.
that's all. So YouTube is the next thing. So what's next for Billie in B Town? What do we have to look forward to?
Woo, well, there's a lot of stuff going on. I am in leadership right now, and it's keeping me busy. And I just got certified to teach social media here in Montana. So if you're watching and you're in Montana and you want to book me, it's CE credits and it's fun and it's very interactive. So that's one of the things that I kept hearing from people was like, well, it's all great, but I still don't know what I'm doing. So
Yeah.
I'm going to actually like show them step by step, this is what you do. So they do leave there saying, okay, I can do this. So that's what my classes will be like. So I'm excited about that. I'm also scared to death because I have major imposter syndrome. I'm like, I'm not a speaker. I'm not an instructor. But I've had many people say, you can do this. You got this. You'll be great at it. So I was like, all right, I'll jump in and do it. We'll see what happens. So.
I'll tell you that imposter syndrome doesn't go away, and I have because I'm a coach and speaker. That's what I do 100% of the time, and I remember when I was 29 years old and I was asked to launch and run a company as a CEO, a real estate company. And I said, how am I supposed to help top agents grow? My best year, I did 28 transaction sides. I never built a team, but I'll tell you, man, I learned and I got really, really good at that. And I've built so many multi-million-dollar teams. And that imposter syndrome doesn't leave you. Even exiting office operations and being a speaker and coach, it's always, what do you have to share with people? What do you have to share with people? And can you make a difference in someone's life?
Yeah.
And that you never know where it's going to happen. I mean, I've heard stories of people like, somebody begging for money on the side of the road, like,
Uh-oh, we lost you. Should I dance? Do, 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 do. Do a little tap number. Does anybody have any questions while we're waiting? No, you don't want me to sing because I'm not a singer. Although I do like to sing, but I'm not good at it. I'm just gonna keep sitting here and riffing. Like, back on. So this right here, live videos, things can happen, but that's okay. You just roll with it. You roll with it and it'll all work out. I actually once had I'm just going to keep talking. I once had, oh, it must be over. Okay, I'll finish my story. It's prematurely, he says. I'll just tell this story really quick. So I once had a gal that I interviewed and we were promoting something and I kind of went off script and I asked her a question that she wasn't planning on and she panicked and like seriously stopped breathing. And we talked her through it and she was fine and she rocked it and she was great. So things will happen, but that's okay. It's fun. But I'm going to go ahead and end this for Chris. Thanks, Chris. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye. Wait, maybe let's see if he wants me to end it real quick. Hold on. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, his battery died. Okay. All right. Audio. Oh, maybe he's back on.
My
All right.
battery died.
That's okay. I was riffing. I was storytelling.
That's so fun.
I was talking about how live videos can sometimes go wrong, but you just keep going.
My battery died prematurely. My battery died, and then I sent you an Instagram message, and I'm like, let me log in. So, but yeah, I was just saying that imposter syndrome kind of doesn't, it stays with you forever, because in order for you to get to the next level, as once you start developing other people and once you start adding value to people, that's an ongoing journey. So there's always going to be the thing that somebody's like, hey, I think you can help me with this.
Yeah.
I think you can help me with this. And then you're like, can I help this person with that? Have I dealt with that before myself? Do I have what it takes? And you never know what it's going to be. So keep on keeping on. But that's awesome that you're doing it. I love it when people take the step into leadership. I was, I was top 20 under 40, 40 under 20, 20 under 40. And the YPN,
Wow.
and the YPN's been very supportive of what we're doing with the Social Ninja Media Group. So, and
Oh, heck yeah.
thanks for bringing us to Montana for sure.
You guys are gonna love it. It's just so everybody knows, it's in Chico Hot Springs, which if you've watched the show Yellowstone, that's kind of in around the area that they claim that the show is happening, but it's
Really?
actually, yeah.
That is.
Yep, Livingston. So you'll see Livingston because you go through Livingston to get to Chico, and that's where the show is supposed to be, but it's actually filmed in a different part of Montana. But it's kind of cool anyway to say that you were in that part. And it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. You guys are going to love it.
I'm looking forward to it, man. It's going to be my first time to the state overall. So it's.
And I've brought a lot of people to Montana. Like I brought you guys, I brought a lot of other national speakers, and they absolutely love Montana.
That's awesome. I mean, clearly you're learning based and just a learning junkie like myself. And now you're getting involved with it yourself. So that's good. So we hope to see you. Maybe we'll wait till it's winter up there. We'll bring you to Florida. How about that?
Do you want to come to Palm Beach? I'm actually going to be in Miami in August. So yeah, I love Miami. I'll be there in August. But I should probably go there when it's winter time here.
Yeah, I know. Let me know when you're here. We'll connect. But so I think we had a good time. I thank you for joining us today. Is there anything that we didn't ask you that you want to share with the world?
I don't think so. I think we covered a lot. So thank you for having me on. This was fun.
Yeah, and look, if you guys have questions afterwards, if anybody watches this and has questions, if you have questions for Billie or myself, post them here in the comments. We're on social media. We're easy to get in touch with. So we're looking forward to seeing everybody out there in the digital world and in a real life, hopefully someday.
That's right. It'll be someday. Yeah, and the event, just so everybody knows, the event is called Advance, powered by the MAR, which is the Montana Association of Realtors YPN. It'll be October 26th. Chico Hot Springs, and it's all day. We'll also have a networking event the night before, so it'll be a good time. Just book. This would be a great time for people that want to check out Montana. It's a write-off. Well, I'm not a tax accountant, but it could be a write-off. And it's a great way to see Montana and get some CE credits. We're actually offering 5 CE credits too for this, so it'll be great.
Excellent. Well, you got CE credits. Who knew?
Heck yeah.
Yeah, look, for real estate people, there's 3 things that bring them out: food, drinks, and free CE.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, no doubt. So if we don't talk to you sooner, we'll see you in Montana, Billie. But hopefully you're going to be in Miami in August. So look me up. We'll have fun. We'll go out in Palm Beach. We'll take out a boat. We'll be fun.
All right. Sounds great. Thanks, Chris.
All right. Bye, everybody.
See ya.